Okay. So today we are going to discuss about biological classification. In the previous class, we discussed living world, diversity in the living world, everything we discussed. So today we'll discuss biological classification. So do you have any idea? So what is actually classification? Can anybody say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, speak out. What is classification?
So classification is a way to means divide organisms in different groups and study them.
Right. So classification is grouping organisms. So based upon the similarities and dissimilarities. Very good. So Rohan, can you say what is importance of classification? Why we have to classify animals or plants? Any one importance, one use of classification? Anybody can say? Abhirani, can you say why we have to classify? Anything, whatever you feel in your mind, you can speak out.
Sir, can I tell?
Yeah, you can say. Shantanu.
Sir, to understand
To understand what,
their feature characteristic.
right, to understand the characteristic feature of plants and animals, we have to classify. Okay. And second importance is that in order to study any plant or any animal, it's very pivotal, it is very essential to classify. So without classification, we cannot properly or scientifically study an organism. So now what is the major difference between taxonomy and systematics? The main difference between taxonomy and systematics. Sahil, can you answer? Tushar? Tejas? So what is the difference between our taxonomy and systematics? Anyone can?
In systematics there is phylogeny, and in taxonomy there is no phylogeny.
Right. So in systematics, there is phylogeny. In taxonomy, we will not study the phylogeny. Very good. Sanika, can you say what is phylogeny? It's not necessary to give the definition, whatever is in the book. You can say with your own words also. Phylogeny means what?
So can I tell?
Yeah, say.
So phylogeny means study of history of evolution.
Right. So phylogeny is the study of history, evolutionary history of an organism. We say it as phylogeny. Right. Now, in this chapter of biological classification, we will study the different methods of classification, how the animals and plants are classified, or we can say that how living organisms are classified. That only we are going to study in biological classification. Okay, so we are very convenient, we are very clear ki what is classification. Classification is nothing but it is making the groups of organisms based upon some similarities and dissimilarities, or it is making groups of an organisms based upon easily observable features. Need of classification to study different types of plants and animals, or to study different living organisms on the planet, it is essential to classify them. We can identify the features, characteristic features of organisms based on classification. Classification helps a person or helps us to systematically study different organisms present on the planet Earth. So that is the some of the needs of the importance of the classification. Now let us move to the topic biological classification, right? Now you all are aware with the definition, what is biological, what is classification, but we have to know how actually the classification started. So basically there are three types of classification systems, right? So there are three types of classification systems. So in bio, there are 2 kingdom classifications, 3 kingdom classification, 4 kingdom classification, 5 kingdom classification. So totally, basically we divide, we say that there are 3 types of classification systems. That 3 types of systems are, one is artificial system, second is natural system, and third is phylogenetic system. So these are the 3 systems of classification. So we have artificial system of classification, we have natural system of classification, and we have phylogenetic system of classification. Right? So this is not mentioned in the module and NCERT, but you have to have preliminary information. You must have little information related to these 3 systems of classification. Okay. So classification, we have 3 types of classification, or we can say that we have 3 systems of classification: artificial system of classification, natural system of classification, phylogenetic system of classification. So this natural artificial system of classification is most primitive. Artificial system of classification is what? It is most primitive. Phylogenetic system of classification is most modern classification. Right? So now we have to see actually what is artificial system of classification. So now this artificial system of classification is based on morphological characters. Okay, so artificial system of classification is based upon what? Morphological characters. So अभी क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि ये मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स क्या होते हैं? अगर आप कोई भी प्लांट या कोई भी एनिमल को देखते हो, उसका साइज कैसा है, उसका शेप कैसा है, उसका कलर कैसा है, इसको हम बोलते हैं मॉर्फोलॉजिकल फीचर्स, मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स. ओके, तो आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन में हम प्लांट्स और एनिमल्स को मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स के बेस पे क्लासिफाई करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर प्लांट्स है तो बहुत छोटे हाइट के प्लांट्स को श्रब्स बोला जाता है. ओके, अगर बड़े टॉल है प्लांट्स तो हम उसको बोलते हैं ट्रीज. ये जो है मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स के ऊपर बेस करके हम प्लांट्स या एनिमल्स को क्लासिफाई करते हैं. तो आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन में सिर्फ और सिर्फ मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स को देखा जाता है. मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स के अनुसार ही क्लासिफिकेशन किया जाता है. तो हमें ये पॉइंट तो क्लियर होता है कि आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन साइंटिफिक नहीं है. यस, why it is not scientific? Why? Because in artificial system of classification we are only seeing morphological characters, so it is not that much of scientific. It is an outdated method of classification. Okay, so now let me write the principles, the points. Artificial system of classification. Artificial system of classification. Okay, now it is based on morphological characters. So artificial system of classification जो है, it is based on what? Morphological characters. Like color. Color is a morphological character. Number. How many individuals are there? Right? Shape of leaves. Etc. So आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन जो है मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स के ऊपर बेस्ड है. कलर एक मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर है, शेप एक मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर है, नंबर एक मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर है, हाइट इट इज आल्सो ए मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर. ओके, सो इट इज बेस्ड अपॉन व्हाट? मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स. नाउ this artificial system of classification, AS means what? Artificial system of classification was given by Linnaeus. Linnaeus was the scientist who has first of all given the artificial system of classification. So how the Linnaeus classified plants and animals? Linnaeus classified plants and animals based upon morphological characters. So if classification is done based upon the morphological characters, we say it as artificial system of classification. So this artificial system of classification was given by Linnaeus. He is a scientist. Okay, and he has wrote one book, which is a very famous book, which you have to remember the name of the book. So Linnaeus has given artificial system of classification. Okay, based upon number of stamens and carpels. Now, when you take a flower, flower is having androecium, flower is having gynoecium. Androecium is male reproductive part of the flower, gynoecium is the female reproductive part of the flower. Androecium is made up of stamens, gynoecium is made up of carpels. So based upon the number of stamens and number of carpels, Linnaeus scientist has given artificial system of classification, right? And Linnaeus also wrote one book. The name of the book is Genera Plantarum. You remember the name? The name of the Linnaeus book is what? Genera Plantarum. Okay, Linnaeus was very famous scientist of his age, so he wrote an important book known as Genera Plantarum. So coming to the artificial system of classification, artificial system of classification is based on morphological characters. What are morphological characters? The characters which you can see, like size, shape, color, number, etc. Artificial system of classification was first given by Linnaeus. He has proposed artificial system of classification of the plants based upon the number of stamens and number of carpels. He also wrote a book, which the name of the book is Genera Plantarum. Clear? This is the artificial system of classification. Now, next system of classification is natural system of classification.
Sir,
Natural system of classification. Natural system. Now, this natural system of classification, it is based on natural affinities. What is the meaning of this word? It is based upon natural affinities. So natural affinities means, suppose this is a living organism. This living organism has some relation with the nature. This living organism is having some relation with the nature. This living organism will continuously interact with the nature. That is known as natural affinity. We have natural affinity. We are interacting with our nature for food, shelter, for oxygen, different requirements. So our natural system of classification is based upon the natural affinities. It is based on external and internal characters, right? So what is the meaning of external and internal characters? In the artificial system of classification, only morphology is taken, matlab external characters are studied. But in our natural system of classification, both the external characters as well as the internal characters of an organism are studied, right? So that is the natural system of classification. So natural system of classification is based upon the natural affinities. This natural system of classification is also based upon external characters as well as internal characters. One minute. These two systems you understood? Natural system and artificial system concept you understood?
Yes, sir.
The natural system was given by whom?
Yeah. Natural system of classification was given by many scientists like Aristotle, Jean Lamarck, okay, Teshermark. So many scientists are under this category. Okay. Now, last system of classification is
Sir,
phylogenetic system of classification. हाँ बेटा सावनी से.
sir, in textbook it is given that Aristotle classified on the basis of morphological characters.
Yeah. So actually, see here, our textbook has missed the introduction part. He has directly started from Aristotle, two kingdom classification he has given. Then afterwards he has given five kingdom classification, right? In our NCRT.
Yes, sir.
So in first he has given Aristotle's story, and after Aristotle he has given two kingdom classification. Then directly five kingdom classification is given. Now we have not, what we are at present we are discussing only introduction part. मतलब अभी अरिस्टोटल तक का स्टोरी नहीं आया है, अभी आएगा अरिस्टोटल भी. उसके बाद फिर टू किंगडम आएगा, फिर थ्री किंगडम, फोर किंगडम, देन फाइव किंगडम, देन सिक्स किंगडम.
Okay,
So
sir.
something is not mentioned in our NCRT but mentioned in the module. Okay, understood? No?
Yes, sir.
Now this natural system of classification for the plants, it was given by two scientists, Bentham and Hooker. Okay, so Bentham and Hooker were the two scientists who has given the natural system of classification. Now here one thing, Savani asked one good question. So we have classification like two kingdom, three kingdom, four kingdom, five kingdom. These classifications are based upon natural system, artificial system and phylogenetic system. कहने का मतलब ये है, कोई भी क्लासिफिकेशन है, टू किंगडम हो, थ्री किंगडम हो, फोर किंगडम हो, वो या तो नेचुरल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन हो सकता, या तो आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम हो सकता, या तो फाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम हो सकता. जब हम टू किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन पढ़ेंगे, थ्री किंगडम पढ़ेंगे, फिर हमें आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि भाई ये टू किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन जो है नेचुरल में फिट बैठता है या आर्टिफिशियल में फिट बैठ रहा है या फाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम में फिट बैठ रहा है. ओके, सो वी आर स्टडीइंग अबाउट द सिस्टम्स ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन, not kingdoms of classification. So after studying the systems of classification, we will discuss the kingdoms of classification. Two kingdom, three kingdom, four kingdom, five kingdom, right? So ये है अपना natural system of classification. तो हमें दो पॉइंट्स अभी क्लियर हुआ है. जो आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन है सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक्सटर्नल कैरेक्टर्स को ही कंसिडर करता है, इंटरनल कैरेक्टर से उसको लेना देना नहीं है, क्योंकि जब उतना साइंस एडवांस ही नहीं हुआ था कि इंटरनल कैरेक्टर्स को स्टडी किया जा सके. अब ये आर्टिफिशियल नेचुरल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन जो है एक्सटर्नल कैरेक्टर्स और इंटरनल कैरेक्टर्स को भी स्टडी करता है. अब लास्ट वाला है फाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन. ये बहुत एडवांस्ड सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन है, फाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन. सो फाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन जो है, कैन यू गेस व्हाट इज इट इज कंसीडरिंग? गेस करो, यू कैन आंसर दिस. Now, phylogenetic system of classification is based on.
So is it based on genes?
Okay, it is based on genes. Still, you think you will get the answer? Now left it based on that. It was given by two scientists, Engler and Prandtl. Engler and Prandtl were the two scientists who has given the phylogenetic system of classification. So phylogenetic system is based upon dash. We have studied systematic taxonomy. दोनों में फर्क क्या है?
Phylogeny.
Very good. Phylogeny. So question comes, what is phylogeny?
Study of evolutionary history.
What is phylogeny? Phylogeny is nothing but it is the evolutionary history of an organism, right? So these are the three systems of classification: artificial system, natural system, phylogenetic system of classification. Okay, so you remember these three systems which are not in our module, which are not in our NCERT, but only for information I have given you. Sometimes question will come. How the questions will come, that also I will explain. Okay, now the story actually begins. Now the actual story begins from module and NCERT point of. ये आपके लिए प्रिलिमिनरी इंफॉर्मेशन था कि भाई थ्री सिस्टम्स ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन है ANP, आर्टिफिशियल, नेचुरल, फाइलोजेनेटिक. ओके, आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम कंसीडर्स एक्सटर्नल फीचर्स. एक्सटर्नल फीचर्स को जानना ही मॉर्फोलॉजी है. It considers external features as well as internal features. Clear? This considers what? Phylogeny. This is the thing. Now actually the classification comes. The story of the classification started with the scientist Aristotle. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher. He is also considered as father of biology. So what he has done, Aristotle made earliest attempt of classification. Okay, so credit goes to Aristotle. कि अरिस्टोटल ने ही क्लासिफिकेशन को शुरू किया था. सबसे पहले क्लासिफिकेशन अरिस्टोटल ने ही किया था. वो रॉन्ग था, बट क्लासिफिकेशन शुरू करा अरिस्टोटल ने. सो मेड अर्लीस्ट अटेम्प्ट ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन. So how he classified, right? So now he classified plants. He classified plants based on morphological features. Based on morphological characters or features. Okay, he classified the plants based upon morphological characters into three categories. Herbs, shrubs, trees. Okay, so now what Aristotle has examined many plants based upon the height. जो सबसे लंबे हैं उनको उसने बोला trees, medium size shrubs और छोटे herbs. So this was a classification made by Aristotle based upon morphological features. You know very well, the plant kingdom simply cannot be classified into herbs, shrubs, and trees. Yes, practically when you see the plant kingdom, we have many different issues. Angiosperms are there, gymnosperms are there, pteridophytes are there, bryophytes are there, different features are there. But Aristotle was simply classified all the plants on the planet Earth based upon the height. Height is a morphological feature like herbs, shrubs, and trees. And he also classified the animals into two categories: animals with red blood and animals without red blood. So all the animals on the planet Earth he classified into two categories: animals with red blood and animals without red blood. And you know very well, this is not practically possible. There are many animals which have red blood. There are many animals which will have blue blood also. Some animals are there. So based upon the blood color or based upon that, Aristotle has classified animals into two categories: animals with red blood, animals without red blood. So we can say that Aristotle has started the classification, but Aristotle classification is not scientific. It's Jangal Mangal. That is only the reason after Aristotle, Linnaeus came and he has given his own classification. Linnaeus classification also had some drawbacks. Then three kingdom classification came, then four kingdom classification came. At last, Whitaker scientist has given five kingdom classification. Five kingdom classification is most accepted classification, most scientific classification. We follow that classification. Clear? So the credit of classifying goes to scientist Aristotle. He is also called father of biology. So based upon the morphological characters, he has classified the plants, herbs, shrubs, and trees, and animals also he has classified into two categories. Okay, he has classified the animals into two categories. Animals. So one category, animals with red blood. Second category, animals without red blood.
Sir, this animal classification was done by Aristotle only.
Okay, so these are the two categories given by our Aristotle scientist. He simply said that animals are of only two types: animals with red blood and animals without red blood. Now, animals with red blood and animals without the red blood, right? So now, animals without red blood, they are called anemia. They are called as what? Anemia. जो भी एनिमल्स में अगर रेड कलर का ब्लड नहीं होता है, उन एनिमल्स को अरिस्टोटल ने नाम दिया था अनाइमा, एंड द एनिमल्स विद रेड ब्लड आर कॉल्ड एज इनाइमा. Without red blood, he called it as anemia. But scientifically, the whatever the Aristotle has given the classification is not scientifically correct. Okay, that is only the reason after Aristotle, two kingdom classification was given by Linnaeus scientist, and two kingdom classification which was given by Linnaeus scientist also had some drawbacks. Clear? Up till these points are clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everything is clear, no? Board, why? Because power is not there. So working on mobile data, so clarity is there, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, why can't we accept Aristotle's classification? According to what are your opinions? क्यों हम अरिस्टोटल के क्लासिफिकेशन को क्यों एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे? इसमें क्या डिफेक्ट आपको लगता है? Okay, only one girl is ready. Again, any others? Tejas, Tanish, Tushar, Sahil, Rimjim Yadav, Anand, Kruti, Kuber. Yeah, Anand, what is your opinion?
Sir, we can't agree with Aristotle classification because it's not a we can say in major quantity the classification is very less. The points of classifications are less.
Very good, absolutely correct. So classification के points ही इसमें cover नहीं हुए हैं, सिर्फ herbs, shrubs, trees से काम नहीं होता है, इनाइमा अनाइमा से भी काम नहीं होता है, right? Savani, what is your opinion?
Sir, first of all, no organism should be classified on the basis of morphological characters, because
Fantastic.
morphological characters in the same species can be different. Then the second is that in plants he categorized in the basis of herbs, shrubs, and trees, but there are many more plants which do not cover in herbs, shrubs, and trees. Then in animals, he said red blood and no red blood. So there are many organisms which have blue blood also. So that's why Aristotle's theory was not correct.
Absolutely correct. So all these are the reasons Aristotle's theory or Aristotle's system was discarded. And after the Aristotle, there was again a scientist. Yeah, Meet, you want to add something?
Yes, sir. Based
Yeah, sir.
red blood, there are many organisms with red blood, and they have different characters that differ from each other.
Very good. So there are many animals with red blood and there are many characters which differ. Absolutely correct. So now you clearly understood why we do not consider Aristotle's classification as valid one, but we credit him because in that olden days, Aristotle has attempted to classify the plants and animals, though he failed to present correctly. But anyhow, he has started the classification, so we credit him. After our Aristotle, Linnaeus came. Okay, Linnaeus scientist, he has given two kingdom classification. Linnaeus scientist has given two kingdom classification. So two kingdom classification was given by Linnaeus scientist. Now what are these two kingdoms? What he has done that all the plants he kept in plant kingdom, which is called Plantae. What is Plantae? Plant kingdom, all the plants on the planet Earth into one category, into one kingdom, and all the animals of the planet Earth into another kingdom, that is Animalia or animal kingdom. Okay. Now you must be very clear. Plant kingdom both are same. Animalia, animal kingdom both are same. But our Linnaeus scientist used the word Plantae. He has not used the word plant kingdom. He used the word Animalia. He has not used the word animal kingdom. But we can use either plant kingdom or Plantae, or we can say Animalia or animal kingdom. So Linnaeus has given only simple technique. What he has done, he came and he said that why all this confusion? All the plants in one kingdom, all the animals in another kingdom. So he had given plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Right? Now, the main drawback of this two kingdom classification is that the system could not distinguish or it could not differentiate eukaryotes and prokaryotes. Right? So there are some plants which are prokaryotes, there are some plants which are eukaryotic. So this two kingdom classification has not suitably answered which is eukaryote and which is prokaryote. That is the main demerit. And unicellular and multicellular animals, this is also the drawback. The two kingdom classification cannot differentiate or cannot keep unicellular animals separately and multicellular animals separately. That is also the drawback. And again, the main drawback is that there are some organisms which have the features of plants, which also have the features of animals. Okay, so protistans are the organism which have plant features, which also have animal features. Now the question comes to Linnaeus. You have said that all the plants in the plant kingdom, all the animals in the animal kingdom. But if I have an organism which have both the characters, where I should keep it? Linnaeus had no answer. Okay, so on the planet Earth, there are some organisms which have the features of plants, which also have the features of animals. So in Linnaeus two kingdom classification, such animals, such organisms do not have any place. So that is a major drawback. And another major drawback is that it cannot differentiate photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. That is also the major drawback. Okay, so simply we can say that Linnaeus has given two kingdom classification. Linnaeus classification is simple, Plantae and Animalia. It had some demerits that it could not differentiate eukaryotes and prokaryotes. It could not differentiate unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. And lastly, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. These are the major drawbacks of Linnaeus classification. Okay, so due to these drawbacks, again, three kingdom classification was proposed. This three kingdom classification was proposed by one scientist known as Haeckel. Haeckel was the scientist who has given three kingdom classification. And let us see what are the three kingdoms. So two kingdom classification is clear to us: plant kingdom, animal kingdom. Okay, now let us see what is the three kingdom classification. I'm writing 3K instead of three kingdom. I'm writing 3K. 3K means what? Three kingdom classification. This three kingdom classification was given by the scientist Ernest Haeckel. Scientist name is what? Ernest Haeckel. What are its three kingdoms? These three kingdoms are Protista, Plantae, Animalia. Now what he has said, Ernest Haeckel, what he has said means we have three kingdoms: Protista, Plantae, Animalia. You know what is Plantae? All the plants. You know what is Animalia? All the animals. Now what is Protista? Right? Now Protista are nothing but unicellular eukaryotes. What are protistans? Protistans are unicellular eukaryotes. Right? Now he has classified the all the organisms into Protista, Plantae, Animalia. In Protista, he has included only unicellular organisms, but he has missed one point, that where to keep unicellular prokaryotes. Unicellular eukaryotes are included in Protista, but there are unicellular prokaryotes also, bacteria. It is a unicellular prokaryote. Where I have to keep bacteria? No idea. So this system failed. Okay. Now what our Haeckel has done, included bacteria, algae, fungi in Protista. Clear? So our Haeckel scientist has included bacteria, algae, fungi in Protista. Now if you see, bacteria is unicellular prokaryote, algae is multicellular eukaryote, fungi is multicellular eukaryote, algae is photosynthetic, fungi is non-photosynthetic. It means these three do not have any common features, but simply has included in the Protista. Afterwards, questions came: why you included bacteria in Protista? Why you included algae in Protista? Why you included fungi in the Protista? Ernest Haeckel was unable to answer them. So that is the reason three kingdom classification is also failed system. Right? And after the three kingdom classification, four kingdom classification was proposed by a scientist, Copeland. So Copeland was the scientist who has given four kingdom classification, and he has added one kingdom, that is, he has added only one kingdom here, that is Monera. Okay, this is four kingdom classification. One is Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia. And this four kingdom classification was given by the scientist Copeland. Was given by the scientist Copeland. I'm writing the name here. Okay. Copeland was the scientist who has given the name Four Kingdoms classification. This Monera is also called as Mycota. This Monera is also called as what? Mycota. Okay. Now the problem came in Four Kingdom classification is that Monera okay, Protista okay, Plantae okay, Animalia okay. What is Monera? Unicellular prokaryotes. What is Protista? Unicellular eukaryotes. What is Plantae? Plantae is Plantae, it has all the plants. Multicellular. Animalia is Animalia, it has all the animals, multicellular. But there is another group which is known as fungi. Now what is the fungi? Fungi has some plant features. Fungi also have some animal features. Where to keep them? It means fungi is not included. Actually, fungi was included in Monera, but it is wrong. So that is the reason Four Kingdom classification is also discarded. Okay, listen once again. सबसे पहले क्लासिफिकेशन को शुरू किया अरिस्टोटल ने, इसलिए हम बोलते हैं कि अरिस्टोटल हैज मेड फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट टू क्लासिफाई. उसने मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स को बेस करते हुए क्लासिफिकेशन को अपना शुरू किया था. वो कहता है कि प्लांट्स को उसने क्लासिफाई किया हर्ब्स, श्रब्स और ट्रीज मॉर्फोलॉजिकल कैरेक्टर्स के आधार पे, और एनिमल्स को भी क्लासिफाई किया कि एनिमल्स विद रेड ब्लड, एनिमल्स विदाउट रेड ब्लड. बाद में ये पता चला कि अरिस्टोटल का जो भी क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम है वो साइंटिफिक नहीं है. उस टाइम के लिए वो ठीक था. उसके बाद लिनायस साइंटिस्ट ने अपना क्लासिफिकेशन दिया. उसने एक सिंपल रूट बताया कि जितने भी प्लांट्स है प्लांट है, जितने भी एनिमल्स है एनिमल है. बट क्वेश्चन आता है कि कुछ ऑर्गेनिजम्स ऐसे भी है जो प्लांट्स है ना, मतलब दे आर हैविंग प्लांट फीचर्स और एनिमल फीचर्स. तो अभी इसको कहाँ पे लगाए? सेकंड, टू किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन यूनिसेलुलर और मल्टी यूनिसेलुलर यूकैरियोट्स और यूनिसेलुलर प्रोकैरियोट्स को डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर पाए. फोटोसिंथेटिक नॉन फोटोसिंथेटिक को भी डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर पाया. इसलिए थ्री किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन हैकेल साइंटिस्ट ने प्रपोज किया. तो हैकेल के अनुसार थ्री किंगडम्स क्या है? प्रोटिस्टा, प्लांटा, एनिमेलिया. So protista में bacteria, algae, fungi he has included, but bacteria has different properties, algae has different properties, fungi is also having different properties. Then four kingdom was proposed. Four kingdom was proposed. In that four kingdoms, Monera was extra. What is Monera? Unicellular prokaryotes. But fungi was missing. So that is also the reason that four kingdom classification is not considered. Now after all these kingdoms, there was a scientist known as R.H. Whitaker. He proposed five kingdom classification, and this five kingdom classification is phylogenetic system of classification. It means it takes into the consideration evolutionary history. Why we speak Monera, then Protista, then Plantae, then Animalia. It indicates phylogenic. It means Monerans originated first. After Monerans, Protistans came. After Protistans, fungi came, then plants came, then animals came. This is phylogeny sequence. Okay, so five kingdom classification only we are going to study in detail according to our curriculum. This two kingdom, three kingdom, four kingdom, you have to remember as a preliminary information, right? Now can you say Linnaeus classification comes under which system of classification?
Artificial system.
Very good. Artificial system, because it is based on morphological characters. So there's a reason it is artificial system of classification, right? Natural system of classification of plants was given by
Bentham and Hooker.
yeah, Bentham and Hooker were the scientists Due to some network issue, it has been disconnected. Right. So last is our five kingdom classification. Okay, I hope all joined now. Because of network problem, suddenly it was disconnected. Right. So up till four kingdom classification, your vision and concept is clear.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, lastly, we are entering into five kingdom classification, and our lesson biological classification is clearly giving explaining five kingdom classification only. Okay, so हमारा जो biological classification lesson है उसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ फाइव किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन का ही डिस्क्रिप्शन है, बट हम टू किंगडम, थ्री किंगडम, फोर किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन को अपने इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए उसको पढ़ते हैं। तो हकीकत में अपने एनसीईआरटी में टू किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन है, फिर डायरेक्टली फाइव किंगडम ही है। बट कभी कभार नीट में कुछ ऐसे कॉम्प्लिकेटेड क्वेश्चंस आते हैं जिनको सॉल्व करने के लिए हमें थोड़ा बहुत प्रिलिमिनरी इंफॉर्मेशन भी रखना जरूरी होता है। इसीलिए मैंने आपको वो थ्री सिस्टम्स ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन के साथ साथ टू किंगडम, थ्री किंगडम, फोर किंगडम प्रिलिमिनरीली मतलब थोड़ा इंफॉर्मेशन आपको दिया है। अभी हम जाएंगे फाइव किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन में। तो एक पॉइंट फाइव किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन का ये है कि फाइव किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन को आर.एच. विटेकर साइंटिस्ट ने प्रपोज किया, और वो पाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन है। पाइलोजेनेटिक सिस्टम मतलब बेस्ड अपॉन एवोल्यूशनरी हिस्ट्री। और विटेकर ने अपने फाइव किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन क्लासिफाई करने से पहले फाइव थिंग्स को उसने कंसिडर किया। व्हाट आर दैट फाइव थिंग्स? लेट मी राइट ऑन द बोर्ड। सो five kingdom classification 5K, it is given by the scientist R.H. Whitaker. Okay, R.H. Whitaker was the scientist who has proposed the five kingdom classification. It is phylogenetic system of classification. It is phylogenetic system of classification. Remember, very very important point. Okay, it is phylogenetic system of classification. Now, he used five criteria for 5KC. Now, his classification is based on 5 points. He used five criteria for 5KC means what? For five kingdom classification, he used five criteria. What are that? First, reproduction. Whether the organism reproduces sexually, asexually, that is reproduction. Second criteria, cell structure. How the cell is, how the structure of the cell is, whether it is having cell wall or it is not having the cell wall, that is cell structure, right? Mode of third is phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic relationship. What is phylogenetic relationship? Evolutionary history, whether plants and animals, do they have any connection from evolution point of view, that is phylogenetic history. Fourth criteria is mode of nutrition, autotrophic or heterotrophic or mixotrophic, how the organisms obtain nutrition, right? And last criteria is thallus organization. Last criteria is what? Thallus organization. Thallus organization. Okay, now if you observe all the points, all points are similarly, you know all the points very well, but ये जो है थोड़ा अलग लग रहा है, thallus organization. बेटा which points you missed? Oh, suddenly disconnect हुआ, मुझे पता भी नहीं चला. Which points you missed? You understood all these points?
So thallus organization.
Right. So thallus means when a body cannot be differentiated, that word, that unorganized body form, we say it as thallus. Generally, the word thallus is used for plants. There are some plants, okay, there are some plants in which we cannot differentiate which is root system and which is shoot system. अब सिंपल वर्ड्स में बोलना है तो कुछ प्लांट्स ऐसे होते हैं जिनमें ना ही रूट्स है ना ही शूट्स है, उस बॉडी फॉर्म को ही थैलस कहा जाता है. जो बॉडी फॉर्म हम डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर सकते उसको ही हम बोलते हैं थैलस. फॉर एग्जांपल अमीबा है. इफ आई गिव एन अमीबा एंड इफ आई आस्क यू वेयर इज हेड वेयर इज टेल, वी कैनॉट से बिकॉज यू डू नॉट हैव प्रॉपर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो उस अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड बॉडी फॉर्म को ही थैलस कहा जाता है. और ये थैलस जो वर्ड है जनरली
सर आपका आवाज ही नहीं आ रहा.
body form, we say it as for thallus. So we take करने reproduction, mode of nutrition, cell structure, phylogenetic relationship, thallus organization, ये 5 points के आधार पे ही 5 kingdom classification को दिया था. Okay. Right. Now there are some merits of 5 kingdom classification also. What are that merit means? Merits, इसके पॉजिटिव पॉइंट क्या है? It has given separate kingdom for fungi. फंगी को उन्होंने एक सेपरेट किंगडम में प्लेस कर दिया, किंगडम फंगी. ओके, सो दैट इज द फर्स्ट एडवांटेज. और all unicellular prokaryotes, PRO means all unicellular prokaryotes are included in Monera, and all unicellular eukaryotes are included in Protista. So it is a very clear that all the unicellular prokaryotes are placed in Monera, all the unicellular eukaryotes are placed in the Protista. Fungi is kept separately in separate kingdom. Okay, understood the point? So this is some advantage. Again, the advantage is that Chlamydomonas, this is one organism. Chlamydomonas and Chlorella, these two organisms are kept in Protista. ये दो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो है क्लैमिडोमोनास और क्लोरेला, उनको प्रोटिस्टा में डाल दिए. Earlier they were in algae kingdom. Earlier they were in algae. Algae is one of the plant kingdom. Understood the point here? So this Chlorella and Chlamydomonas, these two organisms are kept in Protista according to 5 kingdom classification. But earlier, मतलब पहले 5 kingdom classification से पहले Chlamydomonas और Chlorella को plants समझा जाता और उन्हें plant kingdom में लगाए थे. But 5 kingdom classification आने के बाद Chlamydomonas और Chlorella को Protista में डाल दिए. पहले तो वो उनको प्लांट किंगडम में ही पढ़ा जाता था. ये एक एडवांटेज हुआ है. ओके, फर्स्ट एडवांटेज क्या हुआ 5 किंगडम का कि उसने फंगी के लिए एक सेपरेट किंगडम दे दिया. सभी यूनिसेलुलर प्रोकैरियोट्स को मोनेरा में डाल दिया, सभी यूनिसेलुलर यूकैरियोट्स को प्रोटिस्टा में लगा दिया. क्लैमिडोमोनास और क्लोरेला जो पहले प्लांट्स के साथ साथ पढ़े जाते थे, अभी उन्हें प्रोटिस्टा में डाल दिया गया अकॉर्डिंग टू 5 किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन. क्लियर? These points you understood clearly?
Yes, sir.
Right.
सर
Say.
सर RH विटेकर ने कौन से ईयर में दिया था ये?
Years, beta, I have not remembered. I will check and I will tell you.
ओके
Similarly, amoeba and paramecium. Okay, these two animals are also placed in protista. Earlier, पहले they were in animal kingdom. So when I studied when I studied 8th class, at that time I have studied amoeba and paramecium in the animal kingdom. But amoeba and paramecium are not animals. They are kept in protista nowadays, according to Whitaker's five kingdom classification. So these are the advantages of the five kingdom classification. So let us repeat the story once again. Listen very carefully. I am recapitulating you. Okay, in simple words. So all focus here. So today we started biological classification. What is classification? Classification is nothing but grouping the organisms based on easily observable features. We have studied three systems of classification: natural system, artificial system, first artificial system, natural system, phylogenetic system. Artificial system of classification is based upon morphological characters, or we can simply say that based on external characters. Natural artificial system of classification was given by Linnaeus. He has wrote a book that is Genera Planta. When you go for natural system of classification, it is based on external and internal features. It is little more advanced. Bentham and Hooker. Phylogenetic classification is based on evolutionary history. It is most advanced. Engler and Franti. Now, owing all this, Linnaeus proposed two earliest attempt of classification given by Aristotle based on morphological characters. He classified plants into herbs, shrubs, and trees. Animals with red blood, animals without red blood. This is all humbug. It's not absolutely perfect. It is outdated. Then Linnaeus came and he has given two kingdom classification, Plantae, Animalia. But many questions came. So Linnaeus system is also failed system. Then three kingdom classification, Ernest Haeckel. Then four kingdom classification, Copeland. Ultimately, five kingdom classification was given by R.H. Whitaker. Based on it is a phylogenetic system of classification. He used five conditions for classification. One is reproduction, whether the organism reproduces sexually or asexually. Cell structure, whether it is eukaryotic, prokaryotic, whether the cell wall is there or not there. If cell wall is there, which chemical is there? This is the cell structure. Third, mode of nutrition, whether autotrophic, heterotrophic, or saprophytic, like that way. Then mode of reproduction, phylogenetic relationship, evolutionary history, and lastly, thallus organization. Merit is that it has given a separate kingdom to fungi. Initially there was a confusion कि whether fungi को हम plant protista में डाले या monera में डाले या plants में डाले, confusion. अब विटेकर ने किरकिरी खत्म कर दिया, fungi को एक separate kingdom दे दिया, जाओ भाई तुम अपनी जगह रहो. बहुत सारे जो क्लोरेला और क्लेमिडोमोनास से पहले प्लांट किंगडम में पढ़ते थे हम, अब उनको सेपरेट प्रोटिस्टा में डाल दिया गया. अमीबा और पेरिमेशियम पहले एनिमल किंगडम में थे, फाइव किंगडम सिस्टम आने के बाद उसको प्रोटिस्टा में डाल दिया. मतलब एवरी ऑर्गेनिज्म का सिस्टमैटिक अरेंजमेंट विटेकर ने सेट कर दिया फाइव किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन यूज करके. राइट, अब विटेकर के फाइव किंगडम्स क्या है वो हमें देखना है. So what are the Whitaker's five kingdoms? Now listen, एक kingdom की एक unique feature है. I hope board is very clear. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Whitaker's five kingdoms are: first kingdom, Monera. Monera indicates that in the world, Monerans came first. Monerans के बाद आए Protestants, Protista. Third, fungi. Fourth, Plante. Last, Animalia. Or animal kingdom also you can say whatever you say, no problem. Now we are very similar. Plante, Animalia we know very well, but we don't know Monerans. Now what are Monerans? According to Whitaker's five kingdom classification, Monera includes unicellular prokaryotes. I hope all know what are prokaryotes. सभी को पता है prokaryotes का मीनिंग क्या है? अगर नहीं मालूम तो बताओ, I will explain. Suppose a cell, it do not have the nucleus, we say it as prokaryote. If there is no nucleus, we say it as prokaryote. If there is a nucleus, we say it as eukaryote. This is a small difference. Okay. Now Protista, unicellular eukaryotes. Clear? Fungi. Some fungi are unicellular, some are multicellular also. Generally multicellular. Saprophytic. So what is the meaning of saprophytic? Saprophytic animals will feed on a dead decaying organisms. Now when you go for plants, plants are multicellular. Autotrophic, photosynthetic. Animals are multicellular but heterotrophic. These are autotrophic. Right? So these are the five kingdoms which are given by our scientists to be taken. Now, in the second part, we are going to study Monerans detailedly, Protistants detailedly, fungi detailedly, plant kingdom, animal kingdom. And we are in animal kingdom in zoo part. We have to start plant kingdom after Monera, Protista, fungi, Plante. Abhi hame next we have to read about Monerans detailedly, Protistants detailedly, fungi detailedly, Plante detailedly, Animalia. Animalia discussion is going on. Okay, this is the Whitaker's five kingdom classification. Now you say you have any confusion, any doubts, now you can ask. New students, if you are unable to speak due to network issue, no issue, you can text me. I can answer you. Any confusion, anything you can ask, no issue, I will answer you. So our new student,
Sir.
somebody, Savani.
Sir, are animals more evolved than plants?
Very, very good question you have asked. So we can say one thing, animals are more evolved than plants because animals have intelligence, plants do not have intelligence, right? So no doubt animals are more evolved when compared to that of plants. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good question. Very interesting question. मतलब ये question generally बहुत कम students को आता है. Again any question? Again any questions from anybody? So Tanish. Okay. Okay then. So in tomorrow's class, we will discuss monoarrays in detail. Okay. So on Friday and Saturday, I will make you the revision of the exam syllabus. And I have said you कि आपके जो MCQs हैं वो थोड़ा मुझे पोस्ट कर दो ताकि मैं उस MCQs को फ्राइडे और सैटरडे आपको क्लास में एक्सप्लेन कर दूं. ओके. अब कुछ MCQs ऐसे होते हैं कि जिन्हें व्हाट्सएप में अपन टेक्स्ट करके एक्सप्लेन नहीं किया जा सकता. बराबर है ना? So that is the reason you text MCQs on Friday and Saturday. I will solve all that MCQs on the board and I will explain you the reason for that, so that it will be clear for all. Okay. Okay then. I'm
Okay,
ending
sir.
I'm ending the session. Have a nice time.
Bye, sir. Good day.
In incoming
Bye,
days, I
sir.
will bye to all. Bye all.